First impressions happen in a split second. Without realizing it, people make snap judgments about others based on their presentation. And for people with disability who often rely on other people for help with grooming and dressing, those judgments can have a huge impact. Just like everyone else, when a person with disability is well presented, they're likely to feel good about themselves and be respected and included in society. They have the opportunity to connect and belong to the community. On the other hand, if the person is not well presented, others may assume they're less capable, less valued, or even childlike. Because of preconceived thinking about people with disability, the way they dress can mean the difference between a positive and negative response from others. It also affects a person's own sense of pride, individuality, and that all-important feeling of being valued within their community. It's part of a support worker's role to make sure the person's appearance doesn't become a barrier to connection. This can be achieved by dressing and grooming with care and thoughtful consideration. Support workers should ensure that the person they're supporting is well groomed and dressed in clothing that fits properly, is appropriate for the setting and activities for the day, and reflects the person's style, age, and gender identity. Let's look at an example. Susan is going out to a cafe with her support worker. Susan is already facing several barriers. The cafe needs to be accessible for her wheelchair, and they need to go at a quieter time of day to avoid sensory discomfort. But there's another barrier that could have been avoided. Susan's support worker Jared has dressed her in a bright pink tracksuit and fluffy slippers. He had the best intentions, going for comfort and practicality, but he hadn't considered how the clothing might impact the way others saw her. When the waitress spoke only to Jared, completely ignoring Susan, he was shocked by what he saw as rudeness towards someone who requires the use of a wheelchair. What Jared didn't realize was that the waitress had made a quick judgment based on Susan's appearance. She thought Susan's childlike clothing was a reflection of her abilities, and so she treated her that way. In that moment, Susan lost a chance for connection. Tina is 48 years old and a big Disney fan, especially Beauty and the Beast. When Tina's at home, like this morning, wearing a Belle costume fills her with joy and comfort, even though it's kind of worn out. Later in the day, Tina shares her plans to visit the shopping centre, complete with the Belle costume. However, Tina doesn't see that this childlike outfit could be seen as a reflection of her abilities. While choice and autonomy are important, supporting Tina also means protecting her from another experience of potential social rejection. Here's how the support worker handled it carefully and with respect for Tina's choices. They validated the excitement. "You look so happy in your Belle dress at home. What do you love most about it?" The support worker used social modelling by talking about what they wear in public places. They then suggested something else that still shows Tina's love for the character. When Tina resisted, the support worker gently said that she deserves to be seen in the best way possible. "Let's pick something together that makes you feel great and helps others see that too." Tina still insisted on wearing the costume, so the support worker makes sure she's comfortable and confident in her choice. She adjusts the outfit where possible and offers support and reassurance during the outing. The goal is to help Tina enjoy this trip to the shops in a way that opens up her world for connection and respect. Oliver is 55 years old and takes great pride in his appearance. He's a non-verbal man who uses a wheelchair for mobility and communicates through gestures and facial expressions, making it really clear what he likes and doesn't like. So when his support worker chooses a loose-fitting t-shirt and baggy sweatpants for the day, Oliver's not impressed. They'd assumed that the choice was comfortable and practical for wheelchair use and his sensory needs. However, it was clear that Oliver didn't approve of the choice. Here's how the support worker balanced practicality and Oliver's autonomy. They validated his communication. I don't think you're liking this outfit. Let's find something you're happy with." The support worker involved Oliver in the decision, holding up options that were both comfortable and socially appropriate. They were patient, describing each item and waiting to notice what Oliver's whole body language communicates. Noticing when he smiled and nodded at the more fitted polo shirt and stretchy jeans. The support worker used one-step check-ins so that Oliver could easily communicate yes or no. asking, "Do your pants feel comfortable?" rather than, "Do your clothes feel comfortable?" They added thoughtful details, such as the watch Oliver likes to wear and a belt that matched his shoes. Once dressed, Oliver smiled at his reflection, and the support worker reinforced it, saying, "You look great, Oliver. I love your choice." Dressing Oliver and checking if he likes the clothing takes significant time and effort, especially since his support worker may need the assistance of a hoist. But it's an essential step, where the support worker shows respect for Oliver's choices so he can feel valued and in control of his life. Georgia is a 24-year-old with a passion for drawing, and the local community art group is her favourite part of the week. She's also non-verbal and uses a wheelchair for mobility. This morning, Georgia's support worker hurried to choose her outfit, picking a striped top with polka dot pants, paired with clashing orange and green accessories. The outfit is mismatched and unflattering, making Georgia stand out in a way that could draw negative attention in public and lead to people assuming she's less capable or valued. Her support worker focused on timeliness over presentation, not considering what would enhance Georgia's appearance or help her look well presented. While Georgia can't directly express her likes and dislikes, she still deserves to look and feel good in her clothing, just like anyone else. Here's how the support worker approached the situation with consideration and respect. Instead of rushing, they took the time to pause and consider Georgia's appearance, asking themselves, "Would I feel good wearing this outfit in public?" They chose items that were colour coordinated, visually appealing, well-fitted, and appropriate for Georgia's body shape. They also considered whether the clothing would be comfortable for wheelchair use, avoiding bulky seams or excess fabric that could be uncomfortable. They involved Georgia in the decision, discussing their thoughts and showing her the options by holding them up in her line of sight. When assessing her preferences, they looked for signs of comfort. Was she relaxed or asleep? Or discomfort, repositioning or picking at clothing? In the end, they chose a soft blouse in complementary colours and well-fitted pants that wouldn't bunch up. The support worker checked that Georgia was looking and feeling her best before continuing with the day. A simple adjustment, choosing an outfit with care and respect, enhanced Georgia's appearance and protected her dignity, ensuring she had a better chance of being seen as a valued individual. And lastly, some overall guidance. Support workers must ensure the person they're supporting is wearing clothes that fit well, an outfit that's appropriate for the weather, something unrestrictive with comfortable fabric and no tags, clothes picked by the person who knows them the best, if there are 2 support workers on the shift. Other tips include use simple language and communication strategies to support decision-making. Prioritize reducing anxiety by setting expectations the night before. Explain the next day's activities and lay out clothing choices in advance. At Nulsen, we must hold ourselves to a high standard of personal presentation, as the appearance of our employees and residents can influence community perceptions of both Nulsen and people with disability. As a support worker, dressing in dirty, unironed or inappropriate clothing can reflect poorly on the person you're supporting. The people we support often face societal biases and stereotypes that can impact how they're perceived. And so it's our responsibility to ensure Nulsen residents are dressed and presented well, so we can improve their acceptance in the community and allow opportunities for connection.